Welcome to the Daily Jerry Anderson podcast, which today is besieged by callers demanding that others put on their headlights to compensate for the murky driving conditions that prevail this morning. This will doubtless save lives. The presenter laughs.
I tell you what it is. I'm travelling towards Belfast on the M1 motorway, and the traffic on the visibility is very, very poor. And there's people driving lorries, cars, with no headlights, no dipped headlights at all. And there's other ones coming down with wee candle lights. They may as well be candle lights. They're just wee side lights. And it's the police should have the signs up on the road saying dipped headlights only, because it's absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be an accident, It's ridiculous.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, you can indeed.
Have you ever been on this programme before?
Me? Oh, gosh. I've been on with your friend, Mr. Nolan, before, but
that's okay.
I know you can get as much done as Stephen Nolan can do, so that's why I'm ringing you.
Well, do you know why I ask? I'll tell you why I ask. Because we have a little, myself and Mr. Coyle, we have a little cartoon series, which is called On the Air. Did you ever see that?
I haven't, no. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. No need to apologise, but don't do it again. There was a series on a couple of years back, and as a matter of fact, Mr. Coyle, it's coming out. We have a date for transmission.
Oh, no.
Our new series is starting on the 16th of December and will be on Christmas week.
Is that right?
And each little programme will be on at 10:30 or 25 to 11, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Well, I'm glad to see you back on the television. Is it the TV you're coming on?
Yes, but it's not me, really. It's my little puppet.
Your
my little puppet. Yeah, no, it's a cartoon series. You haven't seen it, so I have to explain.
It's not a cartoon. It's hardly called.
It's start animation.
Yes.
It's cartoon. It's a cartoon.
And
cartoon? When I say cartoon to this man, this man has no idea because he hasn't seen it.
Yeah, but cartoon to me is Huckleberry Hound.
Is it?
Yeah. If you say cartoon, I think Fred Flintstone. I think Yogi Bear.
Well, if you say cartoon to me, I think of Leonardo da Vinci. Because cartoons were what certain types of paintings were called in the 15th, 16th, 17th century. See, you're Yogi Bear, I'm Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
There's a gap there.
Yeah, there is a bit of...
Anyway, the reason I'm saying this to you, sir, is because in the second series, or one of the little programmes we had, was about a man who rang up furious about people not putting their headlights on during the fog.
Yes.
And he sounded a little bit like you, but he was more angry than you are. The presenter and interrupters now dispute when Christmas will arrive. Seems straightforward enough, you may surmise, but ulterior motives dominate here. You see, their little men are coming back. Well, that's good, you see, that our little cartoon programme is coming on again.
20th of December?
No, it's not the 20th of December.
What do you say?
It's Christmas week, the 16th of December.
It's starting the 20th. The 20th is Christmas week.
No,
yes,
you'll find... Hold on a minute.
The 20th is Christmas week.
What's the first Monday?
Sure, what day is Christmas? 25?
Yeah.
Well, why is the 20th not a Christmas week?
See, a week usually begins on the Monday.
Yeah, but why is it not Christmas week, the 20th?
Because...
Why can it not be Christmas week?
I don't know.
Nor do I.
Hold on a second. I'm looking for me thing here.
All right, what?
See, why do you confuse me like this? Don't you realise it's not easy for me? Don't you
what?
realise? Hold on a second. I need to look
but
at
why wouldn't it be Christmas week?
If it's the 20th, could have been on some other week.
7 days.
No, but it's 5 days.
5 days.
It's
well,
starting
25. That makes it to Christmas Day is 25.
Will you stop? Look, will you stop, please, a minute? I'm looking for my calendar.
I was dreaming last night that Charlie Lansbury was fighting for the world heavyweight boxing title.
I don't think he has much chance.
No,
I think there's a weight discrepancy
and there was a sniper trying to shoot him.
Really? Really?
Strange dream.
Notice how I have no interest whatsoever in what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
What difference does it make? If it's
I'll tell you the difference it makes.
What?
I'll tell you the difference it makes.
If you say to people at home now, the programme starts on the 20th of December, they say that's grand.
It's starting on Monday the 19th of December. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I said the 16th. It's starting on Monday the 19th of December, which is Christmas week.
That's not Christmas week.
Yes, it is.
19,
Yes.
20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25... 26.
25 is the one you should have stopped at. That's
25,
Christmas.
25. Aye. Yeah, well, I suppose it is Christmas week.
I suppose it is, yes.
Yeah.
So it's starting on Christmas week on Monday the 19th of December, and our little cartoons. And I've seen some of them, and you're very bad in them.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's just something about you that I don't like.
Oh, bad, evil looking.
Evil looking, but there's a look about your eye that you didn't have before. I've noticed you See, obviously they've noticed it in you. As you get older, you're beginning to look more evil and gnarled. I, of course, I'm looking more wise and more serene. The dinner tables of the nation have resounded to the sound of people arguing as to whether Sean Coyle's abdication is a good thing or not. The presenter has no doubt that the population as a whole shall benefit from his absence. As I said before, your abdication has made little impact upon the listening public, and I hope you intend to go through with it, because I've had a number of interviews yesterday. People on Work Exchange have come in here, and I've interviewed them briefly. I gave them 2 minutes each, but I found nobody with any personality. So I said, you'll be perfect. Great show yesterday. I hope you don't mind me saying. Sometimes I say things that hurt you, and I apologise in advance, but I enjoy it.
I know you do.
When news of Mr. Coyle's abdication came through on the radio, Tommy, my cat, and I put on matching plum-coloured duffel coats and headed down Shaftesbury Square. Thousands of people were dancing around their tents. Young women were making free with their affections, and old codgers were grabbing older ones and then dropping them like hot bricks when they couldn't remember what to do next. Jim Rogers, dressed as a giant red tomato, leaped on the back of a lorry and on top of a secretary, shouting, "No, no, no! I can confirm that Sean Coyle is gone." The last I heard, he was seeking refuge in Lifford. Any truth in this? Any truth in that? Seeking refuge across the border?
Funny, I was thinking about Lifford the other day.
Lifford's a fine place, a fine town, the twin towns of Strabane and Lifford. Home indeed, halfway house for Asda.
Yeah, but I want to go to Lifford Dog Track.
Yes, a fine dog track.
Yes.
Much finer than the one we have here in Derrystoke, Londonderry, which is falling apart. The one at in Lifford is a fine, and indeed a night out, for people who do not like greyhounds. Go and have a meal and a bottle of wine.
I just thought about going over Christmas.
And shop in Asda as you're there. I don't know about these big supermarkets. To talk about having a couple here in Derrystoke, London, they'll drain the life out of the city centre.
I've never been in one.
You should go into, next time you're up in the dog track, go into Asda. It'll frighten the life out of you.
I've never been to Sainsbury's here.
Have you not?
No.
Well, it's less frightening, but Asda is very frightening. Very frightening. Thunder and lightning. The last I heard, seeking refuge in Lifford, an old codger, wearing the obligatory flat cap and muffler, croaked, "I've seen the demise of Walter Love, John Bennett, and now Coyle." The old codger fell to his knees and gave thanks with tears and green pus running freely from his eyes. Then a loud, uncouth voice roared, "Hiya, British! My name is Jim McDowell." "So it is, and I've just got a tweet." "Don't tell us," yelled Sarah Travers from the crowd. "Go and see a doctor." "How long, wee woman?" roared Jim. "I have my finger in the pulse of Northern Ireland, and the latest news is Coyle has refused to abdicate. I now read a communique from Herr Coyle. Dear subjects, there's a false rumour going around that I am leaving Radio Foyle. That rumour was spread by the presenter, who's been trying to get rid of me since the day I came here. Me leave here? Me leave a cushy number near my home? Let my answer ring out in Belfast, Stroke City, Strabane, Clogher, Lisburn, Gorchin, Cullybackey. Never, never, never! Now go back to your homes before I set the PSNA on you." Strange things happen on the golf course. I shall say no more.
A man approached me when you were off.
This seems to be happening far too often.
I know.
What did he say to you?
When you were away in America, and
Yes.
I was out playing golf one day, and a man approached me. Mm-hmm. And the man said to me, he says, "Why don't you and Jerry? Why don't you teach people impersonations in their own home?"
Well, why don't you do that?
And I says, "Well, what do you mean?" He says, "Jerry's very good, and he's very. He picks up the flaws." He says, "You can attempt them." He says, "But Jerry hones them, and he can pick up the wee flaws, and he can correct you."
That's why.
And he says, "Why don't you teach people impersonations at their own in their own home?" And he says, "Why don't you start with me?" And I says, I said, "We couldn't possibly start with you because you're an American." I said, "It's very hard to do an American accent."
He was American.
Yes.
Okay.
And he says, "But Jerry lived in America and he lived in Canada." He says, "Jerry's the man." And he said, Did you never listen to my phrase? And I've got a special type of phrase, and I don't talk like any other actor." And I thought, right, okay.
Was he an actor?
He was an actor. And I says, "But it's very difficult to do an American accent, and impersonate someone." I said, "So," he said, "No, that's where Jerry comes into it."
But you don't know. Can I just reel back a bit? You don't know too many American actors.
No, I asked him who he was.
Where did he come from?
He just walked out of the bushes.
And what did he say?
He came over to me. I was on my own. I was putting, you see, and he stood there with his hands behind his back.
No.
And he talked to me, and I says,
well, how did you know he was an actor?
He told me.
He said,
I recognised him.
He said, "You may not know me. I've just come from the bushes.
Yes,
I'm an American actor. I'm standing here with my hands behind my back. Why don't you take impersonations on the road and teach people like me? I'm an American."
And he says, for all good actors, you must get into character.
That's true. I do that.
And I says, I know that. He says, if you would get the people at home to imagine that they were 6'2",
like Liam Neeson,
right?
Yeah,
and black hair, straight black hair,
like Liam Neeson. Yeah,
all right, and inhale through the nostrils when talking from time, or maybe before you talk, a big. Before you would say something, I said, well, that's all very interesting, you know what I mean? And he says, look what I do when I'm talking to you. He says, I turn my head towards one of my shoulders and I look at you with my left eye. I stare at you with my left eye. And I could see all this. And he says, can you feel yourself getting into character? Can you feel this person, you?
Can I just ask you something? Were you with anybody when you were talking to this man?
No, I was on my own.
I'd be scared.
And he says, and when I speak to you, note the small shake in the head, as if in disbelief. And he said, have loose lips and loose cheeks. Loose. Do you hear that? Loose. Loose lips. Loose cheeks. Can you hear it? And he says, you get into the character.
Are you okay?
You see?
Are you all right?
That's what I said. I said, and you want me to try and impersonate you? And he says, yes. But I said, that's American accent. I can't do an American. I can't do you. And he says, try it and get the people at home to do it. Jerry will help you.
And did you do it?
He says, there's a line. He says, do all that I tell you. Stand tall. Turn your head to your shoulder. The eye. Get the loose lips. Yes, that's it. Loose lips. Loose lips. And then the phrasing. The phrasing is important. And now this man was standing with his hands behind his back and he started to walk around the green. And he's patrolling the green.
If you had a gun, you'd have shot him.
No, do you hear him breathing?
I hear him, yeah.
And the head's turned. You see? And he said, it's the phrasing. And he said, say this after me. He says, and then get Jerry to teach you. And then he says, you're ready to deliver that immortal line that I hear Jerry Anderson use from time to time in his program. You use it all the time.
Keep her lit till I get out.
Close. No, close.
What is it?
And he said to me, he said, stand and look at me. He said,
I've got it.
He said, And he said, for instance, here's a line from one of my phones. He says, the Germans are sinking our ships in the Atlantic. You see? He said, he's working that. He said, and then you're ready. He says, but remember the loose lips and the eye, the left eye. Look at me and say,
there she blows! It's a whiting!
Put the dog down, Damian.
Gregory Peck.
You see, so you have to teach us Gregory Peck. And you see the eye and the loose lips and the head shaking. Put the dog down, Damian.
Put the dog down, Damian.
Put the dog down, Damian.
There she blows. It's a whiting.
The Germans are sinking our ships in the Atlantic.
You met Gregory Peck in the golf course?
Yeah.
He's been dead for 20 years.
And he just turned and he walked away. And he says, why don't you teach people? He says, you and Anderson. He says, Jerry says, Jerry could be Michael Parkinson some mornings. And you could be, say, let's just say you could be Brian Clough or something like that. Put on a Brian Clough. He says, and teach the people. Now look here, Sunday. And do all that. So why don't you think about that?
We could get a van,
Yes.
And we could get printed on it, impersonations are us.
Yeah.
And we could travel around all the housing estates. Rathcoole.
Right.
All those places.
And have music playing.
Yeah, and have a little thing on the top.
Right.
Going, it's a whiting. Like that, to attract the people to take, like an ice cream van.
Yes.
And anyone who wanted to be taught impersonation would come out and stand in front of their houses, and we go down and collect the money and then bring them all in the van and teach them how to do Jimmy Cricket. Thank you for listening. Back tomorrow.